main reason why I would be worried to play him in the playoffs because I don't really know how to approach the game at first.
I think the way I'm approaching, um, the way I have approached playing guys in the league this season, and uh, uh, Marquise, you can chime in on this as well. That the way I have approached each game this season against guys that I've never played is I've literally treated it like a head-to-head online. Like if I was playing head-to-head online, but I was playing for $20, what would be my style? And then I just run with it. Versus guys that I know, it's like when I see Miles Garrett on the left side and he's spread, like in my mind, it's like you better fucking double Miles Garrett because it's
Oh,
coming.
you can't do that anymore. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, I heard you say earlier about the X Factor having
Oh
two
yeah.
X Factor, which is insane to me. I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah, both on
insane.
rookie deals, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this, like how you said it, like you would treat your games like head-to-head games. Like with me, it's kind of like I gotta feel like the opponent, like kind of like how the like in the NFL, you gotta read the person's offense, you gotta read the person's defense to see what does he usually do. Sometimes you can read them by the way that his play style is or the formation is, or he'll try to switch it up to the point that you'll never figure out his techniques and you're just gonna have to live and learn and try to see what you can do to try to stop the O or the defensive line. That was basically my thing. If I didn't figure it out, it was just like, I gotta try to find a way to stop this, or I gotta find a way to make sure that he doesn't do this. And like sometimes it was a pass, sometimes it.
I agree.
Sorry, yeah, sorry about that. It cut off. But either way, it was just like I had to treat it like kind of like a quiz in a sense.
Right, right. Well, guys, I'm gonna switch over to let's see here. I'm gonna switch over to the standings for each division before we actually break down some of the playoffs. I just wanted to get a breakdown for you guys. What I'm gonna do if
Hmm.
if this works with y'all is I'm gonna just once we get to your division, just give me your perspective on each guy in that division, and um, yeah, we'll just go from there. So I'll start in the NFC since I believe we're
Oh,
all
let's do it.
AFC. Since we're all AFC, so the NFC North um, looks like the Vikings is going to. He took this division as well as the Packers taking a wild card, which I kind of expected. Have did y'all play either one of these guys? And if so, how do you think they're going to fare once playoffs begin?
Mm. I've never played either of them in this league. Um, I think it's gonna end up being Vikings, Falcons, NFC Championship, or well, Vikings, maybe. No, I'm actually gonna say Colton Vikings, NFC Championship.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, you.
bet. I'm gonna say that unless your boy Falcons comes with some bomb ass YouTube blitzes that he found yesterday.
2 points.
Whoa, shots
Oh my
fired.
God.
I wish I had been on because he would have the Spice Adams ha ha going in the background
Yeah,
right now.
right.
Um, but hey, I mean I don't disagree. I think it comes down to seeding for me. I think I say it all the time. Styles make fights. And the Vikings, he played a close game against the Falcons the last time they played. And Chuck with the Packers, he beat Colton this year in a game. So, you know, it's it just comes down to seeding and who plays who first to me. Um,
Sure.
because that the wild card, I think the Vikings will have home field advantage, but he'll play a wild card game. I don't know exactly who he'll play yet, which is something we'll figure out once the advance comes. Um, but no, I don't disagree. I think it's either going to be in the NFC. If it's not, or coming out of the NFC, as far as the conference championship, I think it's one of those three teams. I think it's either Falcons, Vikings, um, or the 49ers. I don't think anyone else really gets in between either three of them. Um, Eagles is good, Giants is good, but I agree. I don't think they're not going to topple. How do y'all feel? Well, since throwing shots at the Falcons, how do you feel about the Falcons right now,
Uh,
or his
he
chances?
lost the two biggest games against like two of the better users, and his division seems pretty weak. So I can't really judge that, in my opinion. I mean, granted, he might be able to murk me in a game, but I judging from that, he played Ben twice this year.
Right, uh his division has been you know average below at best. I mean, looks like the Bucks is going to end 7-9. It's a force win against Falcon, a force win from the Falcons. So, um, everybody knows what happened with the Panther guy. He was supposedly tanking, um, which I don't really understand that from game one, especially with the Panthers. That's actually a decent team on Madden this year. And then, of course,
Very true.
Ben took some tough losses. Uh, Mr. Morris, NFC, who do you think has a better opportunity to win a game in the playoffs, Giants or Eagles?
I'm gonna have to give it to my man Eagles. I feel as though it's just like excuse me. I feel as though it's that the Eagles have way more competitors like on his squad than the Giants do. But then again, I can't really sleep on the Giants because the fact that I have never played the Giants, but I've seen the Eagles play before. So the thing is, it's just like I would have to go with the Eagles because of how he plays and how he strategizes with his kind of like his schemes, like kind of like how he changes up his plays to make sure that kind of like to scheme the opponent or like confuse the opponent of like like trying to like dominate them. So I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles.
What about you, Tristan?
Um, just I kind of agree with what my guy said. The Eagles have a better team, so I think he'll do better for it. And it'd be more beneficial for him, and easier for him to compete in the playoffs. With the Giants, especially with that tough loss to the Dolphins, as we mentioned earlier, like he's a good player, but that team is still really
Kill.
bad. Um, they're what, a 69 overall,
Yeah,
and Giants are
yeah,
pretty
somewhere around
close.
there. Yeah, yeah, and you know, I
Jesus
played both of them,
Christ.
and the game I played against the Eagles. I mean, it's like playing the game at 8 in the morning, or playing the game, being in a position where you're occupied on some level can be difficult. And I mean, I barely lost that game too, and um, I beat the Giants, even though that was a semi-tough game. I think uh, the Eagles is going to win. He's going to win the first round. Whoever he plays in the first round, he wins that game. And so yeah, I agree. I definitely think as far as the NFC, he's going to have a better out. And but the Giants, he has a lot of cap, and I've seen a bunch of guys not re-signing guys that they need to, and
Yeah.
he can definitely take advantage this offseason. And so I mean we'll definitely see. And then of course Colton, the three-time Super Bowl champ last year, he got hot at the end of the season and started to really look like the guy that I seen last Madden, where he was he lost some tough games. I think he lost to you, Tristan, and
Yeah.
to Justin. Both games were close, but um, he had he had a stretch where he was looking a lot like the guy from the last Madden. And do you think Colton's? What do you think his chances are getting to the Super Bowl this year? Just getting there.
I would say pretty high. Um, the main competitor we said in the NFC is going to be the Falcons, really, realistically,
Yep.
um, or the Vikings, which he's played both of them tough. And what he put a double-digit like lead on the Falcons. So I'd say pretty high considering he's coming out of the NFC. And looking at the like the standings for the NFC, it's most likely going to be Eagles, Vikings, Packers, Giants first round.
Yep.
Ooh, I like that.
So
I like that.
yeah, that's gonna be fun. Interesting setup. Um,
And you know
I
what's
think the
interesting?
Packers have a better team.
No, no, I agree. You know what's interesting about that is because uh, when you look at this, what the seeding most likely will end up, that would
Mm,
actually mean that if the Eagles wins against the Vikings the next round, he would play Colton. And then if the, so that, I mean, that would be an interesting game to see because I don't think they've played each other. And then the
true.
Falcons, um, I believe, would play either the Giants or the Packers or basically anybody else that wins. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's this is a tough playoffs this year. I was actually speaking to the 49ers a few days ago, and we were talking about how this may be the toughest playoffs that we've had for our league this year,
Mm-hmm.
or for our
I can agree
league
with
between this year and last Madden. I mean, just looking at the NFC teams that are in the playoffs, I mean, if the Giants didn't have as worse of a team that he did, it'd be very easy to say that he could be a Super Bowl contender. I just think his team holds him back from making it to the Super Bowl. Um, because the guy can definitely ball, that's for sure. Let's see. I'll go to the AFC and I will jump over to your division, Mr. Morris. Tell me what you
Uh,
think about the Raiders' chances. I know you said you've played him. How do you think he
it.
fares up? Um, how do you think he compares to each, just guys that are currently going to be in the playoffs? And that looks like for the AFC, Jags, Browns, Patriots, Raiders, Steelers, Titans.
well, I'm gonna have to give it to my man, the Raiders, because of the fact that like his team is like they're hungry. Like he got a good O line, he got a good D line. Well, I'll take that back. He don't got a good D line. But all I know is just that like with this run game and the fact that like he has like two deep threats that people have to watch out for, it's going to be competition because of the fact that the Raiders comes to play. He's not a talker. He focuses on the game and does everything in his power to make sure that he gets the W. He's a respectful young fellow. I gotta give it to him. Like he'll blow you out and say good game, and you be like, damn well it ain't no good game. But you just gotta respect the man because of the fact that like he has to do what he has to do. His mindset is go to the playoffs, go to the Super Bowl, win the chip, do it next season. That's on everybody's mind. But if I had to give it to anybody who's making it to the playoffs, I think nobody has to sleep on the Raiders because he's coming to play.
That's true. And I think the benefit that he has probably over everyone else that's making the playoffs besides Corey with the Titans, the one thing he has over all of us is that he got to play the Raiders. I mean, play the Jags, and he got the opportunity to at least get a perspective of the defense that he runs, and kind of break it down that way. Where, you know, everyone else has. We've yet to play him. We've yet to have a game against him, and so, um, and I think that what's going to happen is the Raiders will, um, the seeding looks a little off looking on the screen. I think it's just because Madden hasn't updated as far as the bye weeks and everything is concerned. Um,
Mm.
let's see here. Let's see if I can set it. Make sure it's okay. Yeah. So the seeding right now looks like um, the Jags, myself. Um, it has a Raiders as well, but I think you're above the Raiders, Tristan. But it shows the Raiders
I,
above you, but I'm not sure why.
I think it's he hasn't played his last game yet,
Oh, yep, that's true.
so I can hope that he loses that, but it really won't benefit me either way. I really would rather not play the Steelers 3 times in 1 year, but I mean,
So,
I'd still, come to play for that.
Yeah,
But
because the way it looks, the way the seating looks is if it were to stay the way it is, your first wild card or your first game in the playoffs would actually be against the Steelers, which would be crazy.
yeah,
Like,
that's if I move up to the Raiders spot. I think I
yeah,
play Corey if not. Yeah,
yeah. If you
I'd much
don't,
rather play Corey again.
yeah, if you don't move up, then you would play Corey. Yeah, that's correct.
Hmm.
And yeah, no, I agree. I think the Raiders. I tell you what, if I had to play in, yes, this is live. I'm not sure who is just commented, but yes, this is a live show for the playoffs for this year. And for everybody that's listening, I do have
spectator.
Tristan with the Browns and Mr. Marquise Morris with the Chargers, just breaking down some of the
Yo.
playoff predictions. Um, I'm telling you right now, if I'm gonna play in the playoffs this year, and I had to choose AFC or NFC, I'm telling you right now, I want to be in the NFC. No doubt about it.
I'd much rather be in the NFC.
Because because between Jags. Oh, what's up? Yeah, yeah, that's the Falcons. And you know what? Since you're
Oh,
on,
that's the Falcons. Speak of the
yeah,
devil.
we'll jump back to
Speak of
the
that man.
NFC because I actually wanted to mention something in a second.
Wait, shit.
He said, "Let me get in this." If you'd like to jump on, Falcons, send me a message with your, or actually, can you just,
PSN.
yeah, send your PSN in the group chat, and one of us will see it and add you to the party. But I do think the AFC is um, definitely going to be tough this year. Um, where I feel like you can look at two teams in the NFC and go, you know, everyone most likely it's going to be Falcons and the 49ers. You can't say that in the AFC because, you know, Justin has always been good in the playoffs. I think that's the one thing Justin has probably over everyone else in the AFC is that within our league itself, he's been in the Super Bowl 3 times. He's been on that stage 3 times. I think me and Tristan have both made the AFC Championship as far as the league. The Raiders has made the AFC Championship as far as the league, I think. Um, of course, Jags has a Super Bowl in another league, and then, of course, we have Corey here that's at the bottom. I'm not gonna say odd man out, but um,
Realistically,
realistically, he's odd man out. Yeah,
Oh, he is the Saints, correct?
no,
Corey's
no,
the
it's the
the
Titans.
Titans.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I'll say when it comes to Corey is that um, if Corey's run game gets going, he can beat anybody that's in the playoffs right now. I think the what's going to play against him is decision making. That's just when it comes on offense. When it's time to throw the ball, and it's something that I've communicated with him before, is just decision making. Hey, can one of you guys add the Falcons to the chat or to the show? I just put in his PSN in the group message. But yeah, I think and it's actually underscore 25, not minus sign. Let's see here.
Well, we could add him, but you would have to accept it into it, so it would be,
Okay, yeah, let me see if I can and add him to the show. I hope it
I
doesn't.
can't seem to get rid of him. But depending, because I want to say it can go either way. I've never played the Raiders before, so that'd be fun to do. But I just don't want to play the Jags. If I don't play the Jags and somebody else beats them, I feel pretty confident.
why
Hey,
you
man,
don't
hey,
want to play, bro?
look. I will agree. I will completely agree that I feel like um, when it comes to the Jags, besides the Raiders, just because they've played and he took a pretty significant L against him. I think everybody else when it comes to the AFC, you know, hell, even Corey, he was up 38-37 at one point when they played this season. Um, but I think everybody else in the AFC, it's it's either one or two things. You don't want to play the Jags until you get to the AFC Championship itself. Well, a little news, y'all. The Falcons owner, Mr. Octavius, has joined us. I don't know if he can hear
It's
me, but how are you?
Octavius?
How are you doing, sir? I don't know if he can hear me.
Octavius?
Hey, you can hear me?
Yes, sir. How you
What
doing?
up, man?
How
How y'all
up,
boy
Ock?
doing? What's happening? What happened with y'all boy at the time of night, man? What y'all boy got going on?
Yes, sir. So you are actually live on the radio show with us. Really quick, since that I have you on, we were actually breaking down some of the playoffs and each team. How do you feel in regards to your season this year? Um,
Mm,
and then
well,
of and then of course, how do you feel as far as going into the playoffs?
Yeah, come on, Dr. Octavius, let's hear it.
hey, listen, you caught me, Doctor. I tell you, you like the second person who ever caught me that in my life. I swear to God. Real funny. I swear to God, I got somebody right now who play Mortal Kombat. I go put him on here, be like, hey, Doctor Octavius. He called me that ever since we've been working together. But throughout the season, I mean, like entertainment, really. I'm just be fun, just tell jokes and shit. But I just hate that same loss that I got from the that same that I got from Seattle.
Yeah.
In there for you feel what I'm saying? 'Cause I really supposed to, I really supposed to be like 14-2. I want to say, yeah,
Yep.
14-2.
Hmm.
I wasn't really too really, worried about my last games with Jacksonville and my game with the Niners. I wasn't really worried about 'cause I already in there, but it really gave me a feel when I played the Niners. what I need to adjust for next time I play him. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't open up my book. I ain't do too much. And then even with the Jazz, I just had to figure him out, see what he like to do, and I see what he like to do. So, I feel alright going in, but it's Madden, so I can be confident throughout the world, but Madden will fuck you over in a heartbeat, and we can't control that. So,
No, I
Preach.
agree.
Preach.
Completely agree.
I'm telling you,
Oh
I'm
my
telling y'all,
God, preach.
I'm telling y'all, like I can send y'all some clips right now of me playing cover two hard flats and nigga running comeback route, and my cornerback just right there, just looking at it, just looking at him, and he would even break down to the run. I mean, to the comeback route, to the out route, he will break it down.
Right.
And I don't know, bro. And they just sit there and just look. I'm like, oh my God. I got like 2 clips like right now. I can show every one of y'all. I can put in our chat and y'all watch both of the clips. I'll be like, what the fuck? And I lost
Oh man,
I
I
lost
agree.
man, I lost an NFC championship game just like that. NFC championship game, my cousin league, I had the Rams. And I went like 14-2. Had to play his partner. And he said he had his partner beat me 40-60. And
Uh-huh.
his partner ended up winning. And I forgot how the score was, but I just know the 2 plays that he actually threw a pick, he scored on both of them drives. So I'm just like, you know how Madden is. But I said my only competition really I don't know what Green Bay looking like. I ain't heard of Green Bay. I don't know who Green Bay is. I don't know who Green Bay is. I want to say it's Green Bay from last season that I played in the Super Bowl. I want to say.
No, he's
I
actually the
don't know.
Steelers this year.
Oh,
Green
so
Bay.
he over. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
Green
know who the fuck
Bay.
Green Bay is.
One of y'all are breathing extremely heavy. I'm just gonna put
Oh
it out
no, I'm
there.
sorry. My fiance wanted the fan on. I'm about to turn
Um,
it the other way.
the Green
Oh,
yeah, the Green Bay this
I don't know
season is
who that is.
actually the Bengals from last Madden. Um, and then
Bengals? I think I
yeah,
beat the
yeah,
Bengals twice last year. I did.
yeah. And then he's playing decent this year. I know but we've I do agree though. I think the only actual threat as far as the NFC, I think it's going to be you and Colton. I don't with the 49ers. I don't think there's any other. I think the Vikings is a good test. I think the Packers is a good test, but I think ultimately who you would face as far as getting to the Super Bowl would be Colton. Um, and then, um, but as far as how did you got to play the Jags and Colton this season? And but before I get there, you mentioned about the BS in Madden. The one thing on Madden that I hate this year is I understand they were trying to get away from the aggressive linebacker jumping 20 feet from intercepting a ball, but I feel like with them doing that, they took away the small
Them
stuff.
contest the ball?
Yes, like
Yeah.
so it went from the linebacker or a player in a zone making a ridiculous play to basically making no play at all. And
Yeah.
um, I did see on EA where they did say that they were going to attempt to patch that. So hopefully that does happen. They've already tried twice and
Oh
it
yeah.
hasn't worked.
And they said they gonna fix up the run defense too, cause this run nowadays is crazy.
Correct. Um,
This run is crazy. Like the main classes for the first time in my life. I'm just looking at it, and I'm see you got Young Kid, you got Henry, you got Serious Mo, you got all these folks. All they do is run the ball, and they got passing often like crazy, but they is running the ball.
right.
Everybody doing the same run, the same stretch, the same dive. Just all they're doing stretch, dive. When you get that, they want to head to the outside first thing first. I'm like, Jesus, like everybody doing the same man shit. And now I see, like, that's why I like Sam leads, because now you forcing, when you do the same man shit, you ain't doing nothing but forcing a player to just run the same run defense all game.
Agree.
Yeah,
The
and
one
So,
thing I wish,
go ahead,
oh,
Tristan. Go ahead.
I wish they'd fix some of the catch animations too. Because you get some, like say you throw it to a wide open person, somebody gets suction hit sticks into them, and they drop it from like 7 yards
Yeah, I know what
away.
you're talking about.
Wait, say the
Mm-hmm.
question again.
So they have some bad catch animations, right? So you'll throw it to somebody who has like 5 yards separation from the next person, issue, and there's a lot of drops that shouldn't actually be drops that I wish they'd patch
Yeah.
up.
And I feel
Yeah,
like they downgrade Julio a little bit too. 'Cause Julio do not really like big. He don't big boy nobody on
Yeah.
some reals. He really don't like go big, like going to the S to get the ball. He don't even do that.
well, yeah, and I
And
agree
then another,
because
I don't,
what
I
they've
don't
done
know
is,
why it's like that.
well, because what they've done is they've taken, I feel like when they heard everyone last Madden say, um, the animation was out of control, they didn't really take the specific parts of what we meant by that because it wasn't. I don't think anybody was saying that the catch animation is out of control, or we were just saying that. I think what happened last Madden versus this one is last Madden there was the reality aspect, and then there was this is happening too much. Where this Madden, it is the reality aspect, and this isn't happening at all. Um, like you were talking about the run aspect. I feel like all people run this Madden is they'll get into a spread, run a zone play, right, run a stretch.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
You know, they
mm-mm, mm-mm,
run
mm-mm.
a
That
run
ain't
a
the one I'm talking
they'll run a toss play, but
about. Mm-mm.
um,
Nah,
Have
tosses
you
don't
played some
work,
Madden?
bro.
No, no, tossing don't work. They toned that down because last the toss pitch. But I'm talking about the stretches and the
All the
dive.
stretches work, yeah. The dive, that's what the Cardinals runs a lot. He'll run a dive and then sprint out to the left. Perfect blocking all the way across the left side.
yep,
But this game here is all about formations. If you get in 3-4 bad and play cover three and you pinch your linebackers, soon he run the ball, click R3, they go come down. See you,
yep.
but for something like that, if that's all he run, he gonna force you to keep playing the same thing over and over and over and over. And then there's not really like there's not really like switching up your play because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
why
really weird.
switch it up if you know it's the only defense you can use to actually slow it down?
Stop it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know. I tell you, you just said something. You said slow it down. That's what they said. This man, they were like this here, man. They got run defenses, but you can't stop it. But you can slow it down. Like
yep.
just now, I just played somebody. I just played somebody in the other league, a young nigga. All he do like to run the ball. Cause I see he passed 20%, but he run 80. When I tell you, like he kept trying to run the ball, I had Keanu near, and I feel like they should have kept that enforcer shit how it was. Like I don't care, like if a nigga keep fumbling because every time they run the ball, they just keep running the ball. So I want my enforcer to make him fumble. They should have just kept that how it was, but they
Are
toned
you
that down.
talking about
He
are
fumbled
you
like
talking about it where you can make the aggressive where they had last man where you could turn it to from conservative to aggressive on tackling?
mm-mm, mm-mm. No, I'm talking about
no.
what they just did. You know the enforcer, like whoever have enforcer, when they hit stick you, it's almost guaranteed like a fumble.
Oh, I
They
got
Yeah,
just
you.
toned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just toned that down. But what I'm saying is that was like a counter for people who like to run, so they can stop running the ball. Okay, you
yeah, it
keep
was
running
like
the
the
ball, you'll
only
keep from.
counter too. If you
So
had
I
somebody with
don't know.
enforcer, that was the one way to lock down a run-based offense.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
was
Nah,
the
I'll tell
only
you,
way.
I feel like when it comes to people passing the ball, I'm not near as worried about someone that passes a lot as much as I am the run game because it's like all it takes is you being in a 4-3 and them in I formation and they hit that stretch play and you just accidentally hit the wrong gap. Or maybe you hit the gap and you don't hit that L2 to kind of strafe and really make the tackle. It's a touchdown.
that shit fuck
Like,
up too.
yeah,
The L2 now, it take a second for them to scruff too.
yep.
I noticed that it take them a second.
Yeah, it's like this Madden, that's the one I think that's probably the the run game and playing defense on it, and then the zones and defenders just straight up standing there not and just not making a play. Um,
But,
those are the two things that probably frustrate the hell out of me for sure. But um, real quick, Jax, because I actually talked to the 49ers about this, about last Madden. I didn't get a chance to do it with you, but since I have you on, of course, you came in last Madden and you won the last Super Bowl that we had. Um, I don't remember who you played in the Super Bowl last year.
Who, me?
Yeah,
I played the
was it the Steelers?
no, it was Green Bay.
Yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. You played Justin
What team?
James.
What team did I have? Oh, I had the Chargers.
You had
Yeah, I
the
had the
Chargers
Chargers.
last year. Yep. Um,
I beat the fuck out of him because he beat me in the regular season in front of my uncle. Oh, that shit made me so goddamn mad.
it was
Yeah,
personal.
bro, he beat me in front of
Um,
my uncle. Beat me in front of my uncle.
but
I ain't gonna lie
real,
to you.
real quick, um, how did you feel about the competition last year? And Tristan, you can answer this as well. The total competition last year in the league versus this year, because my number one goal, and this was a big reason why, like I told you, Falcons, when what made me want to add you to the league was when I see guys post saying either won a Super Bowl or having ridiculous games, whatever. Like the goal to me is having a league that's so competitive that like it's a fight to win the Super Bowl. Where um, before last Madden, the Madden before, it was just me. It was just me and like one other guy, and we were basically just going back and forth into the Super Bowl and all that. Where the past two Maddens, or this Madden last year and this one, where do y'all compare as far as just the competitive nature within the league
Hmm.
this year and last?
I say he like balance a little bit. They balance out a little bit. They balance a little bit.
I think it's more competitive this year than the past two. Yeah, like before Falcons came in the league last year, I think it was really just about six people competing.
Yep.
Uh, Realistically, it was about the same three or four people making it to the Super Bowl almost every other year. This year, I feel like it's gonna be a lot different. We have a lot more balance throughout the whole league. Um, Pretty much from top to bottom on like both seating charts, we have some good teams out there. And especially since we're building, like I said, with Giants is a pretty good user, Eagles as well. They still have opportunity to build their team. You added Dolphins as well, which you played. So with them being able to build their team, we have at least 3 years or 2 years left for the money league. I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot more competitive than last year.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. Like week 12, I was already ready to send him to the playoffs. Like it was already pretty
Yeah.
obvious he was gonna make it. And I don't know if y'all get that way, but like that's how I get. Like at some point, um, of course everybody wants that one seed or to be in that bye position in the playoffs, just because you don't want to mess around and have that fluke game against somebody that you would probably beat. If it's kind of like Tristan, you were talking about, you know, having to play Corey, where I'll admit 20 times out of 19 out of 20 games, honestly, probably 20 out of 20, you probably beat them. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and that's that thing about that first week in the playoffs is, it's fluke games that happen, and I did see. I don't know if y'all noticed this I saw on EA that in the playoffs, momentum is everything this Madden. Like the
I
momentum
know.
in a game
I'm
can
finna show y'all
flip.
why I like that too. I'm finna show y'all right now. I want y'all. Y'all just keep talking. I'm gonna tell y'all what to look at. If you post it in the chat.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna go to the depth of me saying like I couldn't move, and Corey will completely agree with that. For
Yeah.
that week 1 game, and
He
I
said,
it
I'm tired of
still cut
talking
it to
about this
only
game.
three. I cut it to 3 points where I couldn't move on both offense and defense. So saying I can play and score points where I can barely throw the ball or run the ball, because if you're running the ball, it's point the stick in one direction. That's the only way you're going. And throw the ball, you're throwing off your back foot the entire time.
Yep.
So to say that, and I only lost by 3, and I did that from the second half on. So 2 full quarters of playing like that, I think that's pretty good.
Hey,
And
and I mean, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm gonna also say we played a game right after that where I beat him 44 to like 14, and he was using the Rams that time. So
Well, yeah, and I'm gonna, I guess not really put Corey on blast, but I will say this that um, out of everybody that's in the playoffs, I think Corey is probably the only team that I'd probably say has the least likely chance to. I start with win a game. Um, you know, I think he's the least likely to win a game. It just depends on who he plays. Um, but then when I look at it, I mean, shoot, I mean, if he has to play Justin, that's going to be tough. If he has to play you, that's definitely going to be tough. Honestly, his best bet is to have to play the Raiders, in my opinion, because the Raiders likes to run the ball more so than throw. He only throws when he has to, and I don't think I think that's a better matchup for Corey. I know he lost 27 to nothing the last time they played, but I still think he's his best matchup as far as the playoffs. Although I
I
did play
totally
him
agree.
in the playoffs in another league, and Corey almost beat me. So,
Mhm.
um, um,
See, I think this is where my team benefits me most compared to a lot of the other users. There's so many options with the Browns team on offense. Um, you have a dominant running back, a decent O line with 2 really good O linemen in there, dominant receivers, really good tight end, and then that defense is still moving up.
yep,
I have star, superstar, and X factors almost everywhere on that defense. So that's my team is going to benefit me so much on this, especially if I play smart. And that's why I think if he goes against somebody, like I said, like maybe like the Raiders or you in general, or maybe even the Steelers, because the Steelers offense, he's really got Juju, and that's pretty much it, because James Conner is not there yet on this game. So I think other matchups would be more beneficial for him as well.
I agree. Octavius, question.
Talk to me.
When it comes to the 49ers and the Jags, I know you had mentioned in the chat that neither one of those games, it was really trying to fight out to win for you. It was more so of just trying to get a feel of the opponents. Um,
Hmm.
is there anything that you saw from either one of those opponents that you said to yourself this season or like prior to playoffs, like, I gotta pay
Mm.
attention to this. Like anything special about, 'cause, I mean, I put it this way. Like for example, the Jags. Like he's had a hell of a season. I mean, I've never played him. I don't know what to expect from him, but he's had a hell of a season. Um, did anything stick out to you that one of those guys do well? That
Oh, they both do the same shit. They just run the ball.
really,
They just run the ball. Like Denver, they just run the ball. And by the Jet having Tyree Hill, if you press down for the run, he do just throw the top Tyree Hill. Like that's it. Like, that's
You know,
the
I'm kind of glad you said that because I'm still kind of pissed off that Brad sent him Tyreek Hill. I know Brad was the Chiefs at the time. I know he felt that he needed to move Tyreek around as far as the being able to
what he got
sign.
from.
I think he got Miles Jack and an offensive lineman. It was a 3-for-1. I mean, he definitely got. If I was gonna base it on wins and losses on a trade in real life, he most definitely would have won the trade. The video game, I'm keeping Tyreek Hill. I mean, I'm just not.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna let the fastest receiver on the game, especially go to somebody. I mean, I'm not gonna send. Like for example, if either one of y'all were trying to trade me, I'm not sending you anybody that I think can ultimately be a real X factor at some point in a game. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I agree with you, Falcons. Like if I have Tyreek, and that's what to me that's what makes his offense. Um, I don't want to say just necessarily tough to play, but more so to figure out as far as his next decision. Because you're right, if he runs the ball, you can't just necessarily press with a D line or with your DBs or anything because Tyreek Hill's got 99 speed, and if he gets past you, it's it's pretty much
Over
over.
with. Yeah. Well, I mean, double on that too. He also has another like burner in DJ as well with like a 95 speed at receiver who's also like 6'6". So
Yeah, and then I
he's got a
mean,
bunch of speed.
and then Tristan, I mean, you've got OBJ, you've got two solid X Factor DNs now. Um, Falcons, I think you're probably the best at um I think what makes you really good at the game to me, you may not disagree, you may not agree with this, but to me, I think you're really good at play calling on offense. I think you're off.
Appreciate
I do.
appreciate that, cause I don't get
I
no credit for that.
yeah, I think your offensive play calling is what separates you from a lot of guys. And the reason I say that is because, I don't think my play calling is what gets me winning a lot of games. I think I make the right read a lot. I think I can read a defense and make the right read. Where I think your play calling is definitely up there. And then with Tristan, for you, I feel like you're just really good at just fucking video games. Period. And I feel like you can just play
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat and it's a problem. and, and,
Yeah,
um,
I'm
he's
pretty
out here.
good. I'm pretty good at Mortal
That
Kombat.
man's
Or I
out
was.
here. How good you
um,
was in Mortal Kombat? Hold on, man. How good you was? Like, that's somebody who,
Uh, I haven't played in like a month and a half, so I'm
yeah,
rusty
well,
as fuck.
yeah,
but no,
don't be
but
on me.
in all seriousness, so when it comes to Tristan, Tristan, same thing with Justin with the Steelers. I've said it before. I think y'all pass the ball, and what I mean by the passing is like y'all will put passes in places that I'll be honest, in tight games, I'm not throwing it. Just I ain't doing it. Like hey, I'm not risking it, and that's why I've always said that both of you guys to me are premier passers. I think Falcons. I think you're play calling. I think you. I don't know if it's like the audibles that you set in games, but from the games that I've
Definitely.
watched, from the games that I've watched you play, I think the game that you played. I think it was the first game you played the Saints. And I actually, just from watching his stream, I could see where it's a play where I think it was like a stretch run or something. No, it wasn't a stretch run. It's a play where it's like a fake to the running back and then you throw it to the screen. And
This
yeah, it's an RPO, I think.
RP. This is Scratch Licky. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I like
And
that play.
and like you came out in the set the first time and he stopped it. But then after you got a first down, like two plays later, you came out in the same set, and instead of throwing the RPO, you ran the ball, and you notice. And what I mean about that play calling is like you noticed his user as soon as the play started, him shoot straight to that RPO, and as soon as you ran the ball, it's like there's not a linebacker in sight. There's nobody in sight. It's an 88-yard run, just like that. I saw the same thing in the Super Bowl last year. I think your play calling is what separates you from a lot of people. Um, and then I mean, I've seen stuff with Jags. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's, I don't want to disrespect the man's game. He's 16-0 from crying out loud. I haven't seen anything in his game besides his defense that says to me he should be undefeated.
Um, I mean, when you doing like man zone blitzes against the Jaguar, I mean, you pressing them. What more can you really like do? You know what I'm saying? Like he got two legit corners. He using the safety over the top.
Yep.
So he go take away your slot receiver with him himself at the safety with the mid blitz. You don't have time. So you really like you only got like two options to try to throw it to a tight end who don't have enough, like depending who you got. Like I got Hooper. His route run ain't crispy. It's not what it is. So you got to wait for seconds to him break off his run. So I mean, like like I was saying in the chat, you have the Jaguars. Like what you doing with the Jaguars, a lot of people can do that. You can't like get like the Eagles and run blitzes all fucking game because they corner not gonna hold up.
Yep. At some
But
point, somebody's gonna be open.
you feel what I'm saying? But with the Jaguars, you got to realize like most of their sets came from really last year. I mean, like yeah, they call sets severe, but at the same time, most of their sets were covered set because they locking shit down in the backfield and in the back end.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So, this like a real life game now. So now that's how they making it. Like, the only way you have to beat him, you have to run on him. That's the only way you have to be. You have to run on him.
I agree. And which makes it difficult because the run game is so damn OP this year that it's so damn hard to. You can't stop the run. You can only slow it down because it's like I've had games where, matter of fact, I remember playing you, Tristan, playing with Nick Chubb, where it's like I hit Nick Chubb in the backfield. He breaks the tackle, and he's clearly falling, but he falls forward 6 yards.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's little stuff like that on Madden that can really make or break a game because a guy could be third and two, and you need the stop. You get them in the backfield, and then all of a sudden they get this ridiculous, you know, even when you tackle them and they're like falling, I played the Dolphins tonight. He got an interception. I hit him at the 10-yard line, and he literally falls 10 yards into the touchdown. Like he gets 10
Oh yeah.
yards worth of animation on a tackle. Just ridiculous stuff. So, but yeah, really quick, last thing I guess before we shut it down because I know Twitch only runs for so long before it won't let me save the clip. Um, in perspective, who and I'll let you both of you guys do opposite sides. So Tristan NFC, Eagles, Giants, Packers, Vikings. Let's just assume the Eagles is going to play. I'm going to assume that he's going to play the Packers first and Giants versus Vikings. Out of those four, who do you think have the best chance of making it to an NFC championship or conference or to play the next round?
Um, I'm gonna say to play in the second round. I'm gonna go, and then ultimately I told you earlier. I think the NFC Championship is gonna be Falcons 49ers again. From there,
I agree.
either way.
I agree. And Octavius, AFC,
Brother.
AFC between, I don't know. I think Tristan is going to put you. I mean, all three of us are going to end 14-2. I think I'm going to get the bye, but it's very possible that the Raiders might get it. I don't know. I'm just assuming the Raiders, Browns, Steelers, and Titans. Octavius, who do you think has the best chance of making it to the conference championship from the AFC?
The only person I played over there was just the Jags.
Oh, really?
So it really gonna be like, yeah, yeah, that I know. I ain't really played a lot of like, I ain't really played like none of the top competitions over there. It'd be my first time really playing them folk, like, and really, other than somebody else. I ain't even playing them at the top over there. I mean, can somebody go look at the schedule? Let me go look at the schedule. See what I played in the ALC. I probably did. I don't remember playing.
Well, I know you played Justin James in the Super Bowl last year. I've never played you before, and I know I don't think you and Tristan have played
I
with
don't
the
know.
Me and you
Browns.
did play. I played
We
you
did.
last year. You had
I
the
played with the
Browns.
Dolphins. No, I didn't. That was your bar, yeah. Y'all played.
Yeah, I
We
played
played
you.
last year?
Yeah. You had, but though you had them 299 fast they got receivers.
Uh, he played the Titans um this year, and the Jags. That's it for AFC. Titans made
I
the
guess we did play
playoffs.
last year.
You played last year. You
Oh wait, no,
remember you
y'all
were
didn't.
saying
Y'all,
you were going
y'all
to
didn't
see?
even play. Damn, feels bad. That was a force. So yeah, it was only the Jags that Falcons played.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm definitely interested to see what the guys that are not making the playoffs, what their um predictions are. I'm kind of letting them do the playoff predictions this year, instead of myself, just because I'm in it and I really don't like to. I mean, I'm gonna do the prediction, but I'm not going to do the ones that are my game, of course. I'm gonna try this year for everybody that's gonna hear the show. I'm gonna try and do a radio show between each playoff advance, and hopefully, if whichever one of us three are not in the Super Bowl or whatever it is, we can try to get a show in and get it going. But other than that, man,
Fellas. Check the chat. Check the chat. Check the chat. I want y'all to see what I'm saying. How crazy the game is. Cause now I notice like how they do with the cornerbacks and stuff too. Check the chat.
yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, everybody, I hope y'all enjoy the show. We'll definitely get one going again soon. Octavius, I know Marquise was on earlier, and Tristan, I appreciate y'all being able to get on, and um, we'll chop it up after the show for sure, but I'm at least going to get this shut down, and man, I hope y'all enjoy your week, getting ready for the playoffs, and Tristan, Octavius, wish you guys best of luck.